Some rather shocking stuff today. They've been talking to it for over 20 years in a lab under controlled conditions, a repeatable process for communicating with non-human intelligence that one of the world's most credible UFO researchers believes might be one of the controllers. Not little gray aliens, not a craft, something higher, something that's been manipulating human consciousness for centuries. And the scientist who just revealed this helped inspire Close Encounters of the Third Kind. His name is Jacques Vallée. And what he just said changes everything we thought we knew about government contact with non-human intelligence. In a recent appearance on the Weaponized podcast, Vallée made a claim that should have sent shockwaves through every news outlet on the planet. According to his sources, a classified U.S. government program achieved direct, repeatable communication with a non-human intelligence more than 2 decades ago. Not a random encounter, not a one-off event, a structured, sophisticated process that could be conducted over and over again in a controlled laboratory setting. Now, before you dismiss this as another wild UFO story, understand who Jacques Vallée is. This is a man with a master's degree in astrophysics and a PhD in computer science. He worked on the first project to map Mars for NASA. He literally helped create the internet, for real, not like Al Gore. He worked on the ARPANET project that became the foundation of what you're probably using to watch this right now. Steven Spielberg used him as an inspiration for the French scientist character in Close Encounters. When Vallée speaks, serious people listen. And what he's saying is almost too big to process. This wasn't communication with something like the beings people report seeing near crashed craft. This was communication with what Vallée calls one of the controllers, a higher order intelligence, the kind that might be orchestrating the entire phenomenon we've been trying to understand for decades. For those unfamiliar with Vallée's work, he spent 50 years researching what he calls the control system hypothesis. This is the idea that the UFO phenomenon isn't what it appears to be. This is a multidimensional technology, both physical and psychic, designed to manipulate human consciousness, to gradually shift our belief systems and mythologies. The encounters, the absurdities, the bizarre elements that make mainstream science reject these cases, those aren't bugs in the system, they're features. They're designed to bypass our conscious minds and plant new ideas at a deeper level. And now, Vallée is suggesting that over 20 years ago, someone in a classified program managed to establish contact with the intelligence running that system. Think about that. Not just observing the phenomenon, not just collecting physical evidence, actually communicating with it in a lab and on demand. What? And as I like to say, here's where it gets even stranger, if that's possible. Vallée isn't just making claims without backing them up. He's been working with Dr. Garry Nolan from Stanford University, analyzing physical materials allegedly ejected from UFO events. Using advanced techniques, they found isotopic anomalies in some samples. A fragment from a 1957 incident in Ubatuba, Brazil, showed magnesium isotope ratios that don't match anything found naturally on Earth. Vallée is careful to say this doesn't automatically mean extraterrestrial origin, but it does mean someone manufactured this material using a process we don't understand. So, we have a credible scientist with an impeccable background telling us the government has been in communication with a non-human intelligence for over 2 decades. We have physical evidence that suggest advanced manufacturing processes beyond our current capabilities. And we have a hypothesis that all of this is part of a long-term project to reshape human consciousness itself. And yet this story isn't dominating headlines. It's not the lead-in to the evening news. It's buried in niche podcasts and UFO forums. Why? Maybe because the implications are too disturbing. Maybe because the system Vallée describes is working exactly as designed, keeping this information in a space where it can be dismissed, ridiculed, or ignored by the mainstream while still seeping into our collective consciousness. Vallée himself has said that the solution to the UFO mystery doesn't lie in government files. It lies within ourselves. That understanding this phenomenon requires us to understand consciousness itself, to recognize that reality may be far stranger and far more malleable than what we've been taught to believe. So, what do we do with this information? What does it mean that somewhere in a classified facility, people have been conducting ongoing communication with something that might view us in the way that we view lab rats in a maze? Something that's been guiding our evolution, our beliefs, our understanding of reality itself. I don't have those answers. Vallée doesn't either. Or if he does, he's not saying. But what I do know is this: we live in a world where one of the most credible researchers in this field just told us the government has been talking to a non-human intelligence controller for over 20 years, and most people will never hear about it. That fact alone tells you something about the nature of the control system he's describing. The question isn't whether you believe him. The question is why you're not supposed to. But that's just what I think. I honestly want to know what you think. Drop a comment below, please. We are building a community of like-minded people here where each of us can speak our minds without judgment or criticism. And I'd like you to be a part of that. And if you want to see us continue to grow, please like, share, and subscribe. It's free for you, and it does help us significantly. Be sure to check out all the cool links below for other stuff. And remember, always keep an open mind, but not so open your brains fall out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.